before, we able to put it that way. But as of today, it's like quite a lot of countries, even they appear to be within the ECOWAS community. There's a lot of going on. Suffice to say, as of now, people are more gearing up to enter Sahel nation. I can confirm to you three nations that are gearing up to enter Sahel nation because of the perceived advantage they see. Chad is a typical example because they are beginning to share a lot of issues, a lot of common knowledge concerning how to do security reform. Yeah. Secondly, Guinea is another one. You understand? Despite the border constraint, Guinea still open their border to be able to trade with Burkina Faso. What do you say? Togo, for instance, Togo is currently collaborating with them. So if you see that, because those Sahel nations share common characteristics, share security concern, they also share economic integration, and also they also have what we call neo-colonialist sentiment. Because people like with African region, we've been to see that the level of colonization, the exploitation of mineral resources is gradually, is much more creating a devastating effect, making most of our nation poor, rendering them very poor. So you will see Mali now, you see Burkina Faso, they're doing quite a lot. Even though today Burkina Faso will not be able to pay for what the young man is, but at least the social welfare is there. Even though we see level of violence is there, but to the best of my knowledge, has ECOWAS community fared well in terms of coming in to negotiate, in terms of coming to understand what they do. If not, because if ECOWAS has been able to do a lot of issues, put measures concerning the colonization, vis-a-vis the exploitation of material, those people don't have courage. Because if there is prosperity on the land, it reduces tendency. But poverty avails, and yet there's outcome. There's certain military formation there. France has military formation there. Putin too, Russia has military formation there. American border has military. Yet the devastating effect of insecurity facing, which means those things are just done there to be able to give an opportunity to exploit our minerals. And certainly is happening in Nigeria.
Okay, so thank you very much, Otumba. That was very insightful. Comrade Victor, I just saw the way you were smiling. You seem to agree with Otumba. What can you say? ECOWAS at 50, what's your take on that?
Well, Otumba said it all, and I agree with him, because this is not where we're supposed to be in terms of development around within the ECOWAS community, So I will say it is something to celebrate. At the same time, it is sad because this is not where we're supposed to be. You made mention about the insecurity.
Yeah.
That is a major factor. So they have not really been able to use the advantage of coming together to solve these problems. So that is something that they really have to do immediately. Because before we go on to celebrate, 50 years, that's
golden jubilee.
I'm telling you. So, but at that age, imagine if you have a child and
that's 50 years.
50, you should be able to achieve, have your family be stable, have something meaningful to do. So I believe, lucky enough, our president is the chairman. So I know each of these states, they have their individual problems, but coming together should be our strength.
Yeah.
So we should be able to give a helping hand to each other and solve these problems.
Yes.
Solve these
problems.
problems.
Thank you, Comrade Vito. Okay, Otumba, this question is for you. ECOWAS at 50, we're looking at the withdrawal of Mali, Niger, and of course Burkina Faso as focal points, and threats of coup in other West African countries. So what's your take on that?
Let me be frank with you. ECOWAS at 50 is highly commendable. I'm not saying they've not achieved, they've achieved. But whatever they've achieved, secure ingression has ridiculed almost all the effect. It's like you achieve so much, but yet you are still at home point. No matter the integration you do, no matter infrastructure development you do, the devastating effect of insecurity is there. Come to think of it, those people are come. It's a serious threat to us. Take for instance Nigeria. Nigeria shares
issues? Is it called the shared border?
They share border because the border is porous. Remember, Nigeria shared border. They are not within the ECOWAS community. They are in the Sahel nation.
Yeah.
You understand? And we know the level of violence there. It is the outburst, the outflow of that violence. They find a place to be able to organize. ISWAS and ISWAP. That thing now that is an intervention, that means that there's an international dimension to Boko Haram. Remember, Boko Haram has metamorphosed from Boko Haram to Lukerewa to Madaba. And all of them are carrying sophisticated weapons. I want to see that ECOWAS, to the best of my knowledge, at the initial takeoff, the emphasis, the priority, they didn't get their priority right. In the sense that they ought to have look, what is the common problem we have across the nation? Everybody knows that exploitation is part of it.
Yeah.
Which means the level of corruption is high. Look, Africa today is in a devastating mode because they seem to be very low in their pronouncement when it comes to corruption. They seem to be dilly-dallying because the leaders are extremely very corrupt. And if this commonality in wasting our resources is general across the West African region, we mention them. Are you talking of Togo? Are you talking of Congo? Are you talking of Togo? Sorry, are you talking of Togo? Are you talking of Ghana? Ghana is not yet stable. Are you talking of Sierra Leone? Quite even as of today, what we've seen now is quite a lot of this security issue, ingression, the security, the violence, the extremist violence approach. They are even destroying most of the value. Look at Burkina Faso, they are making so much money. But look, the threat to life is high. People are being killed on a regular basis. And why they do? Because they are under martial law now. They are not under them. And sooner or later, you will come to them. What I'm saying is, if ECOWAS has come to a point of having a common forum in terms of dealing with what I call anti-colonial sentiment, and also be able to come together to look at how they will improve on their natural resources, human capacity, to look at how they will be able to do a kind of integration, to look at how they will be able to do a common currency, to remove restriction across. Look, let me be frank with you. It is easier for me to travel to London to UK than to travel within the African sub-region. Wow. Today. When you mobilize mobility, how do you encourage commerce? How can you encourage productivity? So I think most of African leaders are regimented in their approach because of the corruption mentality. Because some of the leaders, most of African leaders receive more, they are the highest paid head of state. They are one of the highest paid head of state. What are they generating? Look at Congo, Brazzaville. Look at most of the African countries. I'm not even saying that now. Yeah, has there been any place across the West African region their size no? The question we're saying is this. And the negotiation mechanism, I appreciate the fact that you want to maintain certain sanctity within the West African region. But you must understand that we must first do what is the common problem we have. Insecurity is a common problem. Mineral exploitation is a common problem. Corruption is a common problem. And in dealing with them, you see, a country, they have their own level of sovereignty. I appreciate the fact that we're trying to give them conditions of Sandra. We're trying to see return to democracy. Has democracy been successful across African region? West African region? Tell me one country that say it's a stable democracy. We're only deceiving ourselves we have a stable democracy in Nigeria. We say we have a stable democracy for 25, but the poverty is extreme. 65% of population, 133 million, are still multi-dimensionally poor. Come to think of it, our debt is over 144 trillion as of today. And we're borrowing another $21 billion. We're borrowing another 21 billion, 2 billion euro bond in order to improve the foreign stability. Now, there's a complete dissonance between the microeconomic and microeconomic activity. People are hungry. Nigerians are hungry and angry. And yet we hear billion, trillion every day. They've increased the fiscal allocation 3 times across the different states. Can we talk of any meaningful thing? Is it the kind of leadership that we do? People are dying, and that is what is it. The inflation across board is Nigeria is around 23.167. Look at Ghana is in the range of 40. Tell me. So our ECOWAS leaders need to come to understand what I appreciate that they have achieved a lot. I'm going to realize they have achieved what they've achieved.
very interesting conversation. Okay, we have a message from the travel advisory. Of course, we know that because of 50 celebrations today, and there will be too many traffic issues, people trying to navigate their way around. I'm sure that this message will go a long way to help Nigerians. We'll be back after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and in case you're just joining us, we are discussing ECOWAS at 50, looking at how far ECOWAS have gone in trying to stabilize West African countries, and of course Nigeria at the helm of leadership. Is Nigeria faring well or not? And of course I have two amazing gentlemen here, Otumba Kenny and Comrade Victor Cletus. Okay, Comrade Victor, let me quickly continue before we call it a wrap on this segment. Basically, you heard what Otumba said. We're looking at failure leadership in West African countries. Well, how do you think that this failure leadership has led to the undemocratic processes, coup d'etat, too many other things Nigerians hear of in different African countries? And how do you think ECOWAS can lead that in the board as they move to 50-51 now in the next 1 year? What can they do differently to correct this failure in leadership in African countries?
Well, like Tombat rightly said, we have these problems that are bordering some of these the states within the ECOWAS, So what I can see is that we have leaders who are not ready, for any developmental change. We have leaders who are not sincere to themselves and to the people they are leading, So when that happens, no nation can move forward when you have leaders who are not visionary, So ECOWAS should try as much as they can because 50 years is not